Hey guys, it's Brick Thunder, and today we're going to be unboxing, setting up, and doing a demo of Home Depot's 2024 Knight Dullahan. Alright, so here he is. This was my first in-store pickup to show up to the store. And I believe the Floating Reaper, which is another I ordered, and the Pumpkin Arch are supposed to come in the next week or so, so that's super exciting. But like I said, this is the first one that showed up, so this is the first one we're going to be doing an unboxing on. And I'm super excited to see this guy. I haven't seen too much on him yet. I've seen a few people get him, but not too much. And the official demos look amazing, and the at-home demos that people are doing look amazing too. The Knight is cool, but the horse itself is definitely the main focal point of this. It's massive. It's like a life-size skeleton horse. So that's really, really cool to see because we've gotten a few in the past, but none this size are standing up like this one is. So that's going to be awesome. All right, so I think it's time to get into the unboxing. Here we go. All right, slicing it open. I have not seen what is inside yet. Right now, all we can see is instructions right here on the top of the box, which is usually what Home Depot does. All right, opening this up, we can see a lot of horse parts for sure, and then also the base is on top. Let's grab this base out from the top here. There it is. Standard 12-foot base, it seems. As you can see, this is where the horse's legs attach, and this is a part that I was definitely worried about. But now seeing it, this is really thick. This is like almost steel feeling. So I'm not too worried about it anymore. It's braced really nicely on both sides here. But the horse is fully supported right here. Unlike the other standing horse props in the past, those all had like a pole supporting the middle of the horse. It's all stood from here with this one. So it is really cool because then you don't see any exposed metal, but also hopefully it holds up. We have, I believe, the support poles that go on the four corners of the base. We have the first horse leg right here. Looks really, really nice. It's huge. Second horse leg. And those were the rear legs. These are the front legs right here, 1 and 2. We have the hip piece for the horse. We have a very strange shaped piece here. I believe it must be a leg. It looks like it'll hook down and be the shape of a leg, and then a boot will attach right there. In case you don't have the box to reference, there's also paper instructions included. Here's his first boot right here. This is actually really nice looking. I like the detail on it. The paint of the gold looks cool. And then I believe that was definitely the leg because, as you can see, prong attachment for the feet. Here's the other one. Here's the knight's head right here. There it is. So this does have a moving mouth. The eyes look cooler in person than it did on photos. That's really cool. And then I love his glove. I love that it shows some skeleton bones showing through that glove, but still a lot of the glove is intact. So that's pretty cool. Here we have his axe. This is something I didn't notice till way later, but it's a nice addition. This kind of sits by his hip. And it looks really, really good. The wood looks good. The metal looks good. And then this is an actual leather strap around it to hold it on. So awesome quality. Here's the horse's rib cage, which, as you can see, includes a lot in there. We'll get to that stuff that fell out in a second, but first we have clothing, a leg, an arm, another arm. This might actually be a leg too, so I'm a bit confused with what's going on with the legs, but we'll find out. The horse's tail, the horse's rib cage, of course, and then the last piece inside the rib cage there was the head. Taking this out, this thing looks awesome. This is so cool. So this does move up and down and lights up right here red. Yeah, that is great. This thing is huge. It looks really realistic. The detail on that is awesome. And I love the addition of the hair. I think these are more tail pieces. Here are some ground stakes, which we won't be needing now, but it's awesome to include. And then the final box of stuff here has lots more for the knight. For example, here is his entire body piece right here. Now, this is one of the most unique pieces I've ever seen for a torso. It has the full skeleton blow molded piece, but it's very nicely secured to a full metal piece in the back, and then also it's fully posable in some joints. In the ribs was the bag for the Allen wrench and screws, and then the final piece is his other hand. All right, so lots of parts out of the box. Let's get to the setup. Here we go. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, tons of parts. So this will definitely be a bit longer of a setup. So we're going to start here with the legs. We have B and C. C goes on this side, B goes on this side. The way I know is because the screws are facing inwards. You don't want the screws to be facing people. You want that to be facing people because there are no holes on that side. So that's the side you want to be out. We're then going to take our screws and Allen wrench, two of these smaller screws. There's two different sizes of the screws. Make sure you have the smaller ones. And these are going to go into the backs of the legs. Once those are attached, we can then attach his hip piece. And then again with the small screws, we're going to attach this here. Okay, now that this is screwed on, we can take this connection piece, which is labeled E, and attach it right here. Now this is just a snap lock. You'll hear it snap in a sec. There we go. And no screws needed there. Now we have the rib cage piece. This is going to slide down onto that last piece right here. We're then going to slide over the pants. There's a little hole in the bottom so that this pole can stick to the top, so then we can attach our next piece. Next, we have the knight himself. He is just going to slide down onto this metal pole and snap lock in right there. We can also do some of the wiring. We have a brown auxiliary cable right there, and then we have a yellow normal wire and a black screw-on wire. We can then drape his clothing over his shoulders here. Once the clothing's on, we can then slide on his arms here. We'll slide this all the way down, and then we have to actually wire up this arm in two spots, one at the shoulder and then one right here, because this is the arm that the head attaches to. We can then attach his head and wire this up as well. We'll then move over here to the other side, so we can then slide down his other arm here and attach this with the same prongs. This one does not need any wiring. We'll then attach his hand right there to the arm and then just pose the clothing here. And you may have noticed that earlier the pants kind of disappeared after I put them on. That's because I forgot them until now. So I took that off and still put it in the correct order so that nobody else messes that up. But yeah, I've got the pants on now. All I had to do was detach the body, put them on, and now they're back. But what we can do here is pull the elastics around the hip loop here to give him more of a form. We can then take our two long screws and attach his front legs right here. Here's the other one. Let's then get his neck on. This slides in place right there, and then we have a screw-on wire. The head can then attach up here. Over here, we then have his tail piece. This just slides in like that. We can then slide up his legs. This is the exposed leg, so we also have a skeleton leg to slide up here. Here's that piece. Let's slide this up and attach it to the prongs here. We then have the boots. Both are labeled S, so it doesn't matter which side they go on. We have the foam padded leg on this side, no skeleton showing. Then we have the other boot over here. We can attach his belt up here. We can also Velcro his axe on. We then have the two straps that are going to attach from the head to his hand. Alright, so the detailed one with the button pieces is going to slide up here. And the other side of it is going into his hand. We then have the other strap that is going to wrap around his feet down here. And that goes over the horse and onto the other foot. And I couldn't really figure out where to put this in the instructions and the pictures. It looks like it kind of wraps around that last strap. So that's what I'm going to do here because I think that looks pretty good. The last thing we have to do here is attach his support poles right here. Those just snap lock in. And I'm just going to do the front ones because those are the important ones right now. If you're displaying them outside, I would definitely do all four. But for now, this will be fine. So that completes the setup. Let's go to the demo. Here we go.
Yours looks nice. How about you give me your fresh head to replace this old one I stole last night?
All right, so there he was, Knight Dullahan. This thing is incredible. Definitely one of my favorites of the year. It's overall just a stunning piece. It looks awesome. The horse is great. The knight is super detailed. Looks really cool from all angles too. Like look at this. He's got this whole cape right here that looks really really nice. And then the horse is fully detailed back here with the tail and the legs and everything. So every angle of it just looks perfect. I really like seeing this angle, and this is basically the angle people are going to see him in my haunt. And he looks awesome. Now, the amount of detail on this guy is probably the most I've seen on a retail prop. There's these little buttons up here on his straps. There are the straps themselves. He's got this little belt in here. He has the axe strapped on, which isn't even a huge part of it. He doesn't even really need it. They just added it because it's an extra detail. All of this is real leather, which is amazing. He's got the boots that are also strapped on across. And then the horse's body is incredibly detailed. And then there's just a full entire skeleton up here as well. So much little detail. And then, like I mentioned, the cape and those shoulder plates and everything. It's pretty incredible how much is on here. I know I'm talking a lot about the detail, but even things like these hands showing the little bits of skeleton popping through the gloves is such an awesome little touch that people probably won't even notice. It's just really cool to have. I'm not a huge fan of the eyes. I think the piece definitely went for realism in most aspects, like the skeleton horse. The skeleton body looks good. All these little details look good. But those eyes, I'm not a huge fan of because it doesn't make too much sense. But I know most skeleton props are like that. For example, the 12-foot skeleton has those eyes that look around, blink. But because the rest of this is pretty realistic, I think I'll probably remove those. Even keeping those LEDs, I know that's not very realistic, but keeping those LEDs in there might look cool. But I definitely want to at least remove those eyepieces. But that's just a personal preference. Other than that, quality's great, looks great, details great, and the movement overall is awesome. Saying that actually reminded me, I do kind of wish the horse head moved a tiny bit more, but it's still noticeable. And I do like how that little bit of movement kind of rocks the whole body. That definitely helps add a little bit of kinetic motion to the rest of it. Overall, super, super happy with this prop. It is a really, really nice piece, and I cannot wait to use it outside. I think he's going to get some awesome reactions, especially because he's very similar to the Headless Horseman character, and the Knight Dullahan is an actual character that people may recognize, but the Headless Horseman seems to be a very, very widely known character, so I think people will appreciate it either way they look at it. All right, so there he was, Knight Dullahan. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.